For those of you who saw the show yesterday, you remember we talked about this. Lionsgate put out this brilliant spot for their upcoming movie Saw X. It was a play on the Nicole Kidman AMC "We Come to This Place" spot, right? And it was brilliant. So brilliant that when I saw it, I said on this show that I have not even been interested in Saw X, and now I want to see Saw X. It was brilliant. It was fantastic. And by the way, it in no way made fun of the AMC spot. It in no way disparaged AMC or their spot. It was, if anything, an acknowledgement of how popular the spot is, and they played on it to do this fun little promo that everyone in the world loved. So obviously, AMC CEO Adam Aron decided to call Lionsgate all angry and demand that they pull it down. And since AMC is one of their exhibition partners, from what I gather, from what I can tell, Lionsgate acquiesced and they pulled down the spot off of all their social media and YouTube channels and things like that. Now, you can still find it online because a lot of other websites already got their hands on it and they're running with it. And it's out there, and I'm glad it is because it's great. Well, as you guys know, I used to work with AMC for a number of years. I still know a number of people there. And I got a follow-up message sent to me saying, yeah, after we asked them to pull it down and they pulled it down, apparently followed that up by sending them a cease and desist letter. They actually sent AMC sent a cease and desist letter. Now, again, let me emphasize something here. This is confounding to me because you would think, as partners in the movie business, you would think that AMC Theatres would want a great piece of marketing for a movie that's coming out that'll be playing in their theaters, that they would want something that fun and popular that everybody's eating up and loving out there. And I could understand AMC being upset if, like Jigsaw was saying, AMC sucks, but come see our movie anyway. Like if they were anyway being disparaging towards AMC, but it's not. It wasn't making fun of AMC. It wasn't doing any of that sort of thing. It was just a fun spot playing off of a very popular, in my opinion, idiotic, but a very, very popular thing that AMC's done with the Nicole Kidman spot. Right? It was fantastic. Saturday Night Live did it. They never sent them a cease and desist. Anyway, again, so AMC has now stepped it up. And even after Lionsgate apparently pulled it all down, AMC still followed through and sent out a cease and desist letter. Now, there are some people who probably don't know and are asking themselves, what exactly is a cease and desist letter? So as you know, I got a little bit of a background in law. So I thought we would go over that a little bit. Okay, so what is a cease and desist? Okay, so a cease and desist is a letter, it's a legal document that is sent to an individual or business to stop alleged illegal activity. The letter may warn that if the recipient does not discontinue specific conduct or take certain actions by deadlines set in the letter, that party may be sued. So basically what it is, let's say, I don't know, your neighbor keeps having a barbecue and dumping the ashes from the barbecue onto your lawn. They shouldn't be doing that. And you can draft up a cease and desist letter.
Ray, have you been doing that to your neighbors when
An
you
oddly
barbecue?
specific scenario you just painted there, Campea.
Kinda odd how Ray's
Almost
laughing.
as if there might be some experience there. So you can send a cease and desist basically saying, look, this is heads up. This is warning. Like, you need to stop doing this or I'm going to sue you or I'm going to, or some kind of repercussions, right? Now, there is a little bit of misunderstanding about cease and desist in that cease and desists are not enforceable. Like they don't mean anything. So like I get this question a lot from people. Is it enforceable? Like, do you have to pay attention? Let's go to the classroom shot. If you like, do you have to pay attention to it? Do you have to respond to it? The answer is no. You don't even have to pay any attention to a cease and desist if you don't want to. There is no legal requirement to respond to a cease and desist letter, and they carry no power of authority in and of themselves. Now, let me put a little caveat to that. Unless you get a cease and desist from government, then that would be referred to as a cease and desist order. That's a little bit different, but a normal cease and desist letter, and I'll give you an example. I got a cease and desist a few years ago from a studio, sent me a cease and desist, and I chose to respond. By the way, it's a good idea. You don't have to legally respond, but it's a good idea to respond to it one or the other. Maybe if the situation's serious enough, you should get some legal counsel, all that kind of stuff. Again, I am not giving legal advice here. I'm an entertainment pundit. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm just saying that I have I had a cease and desist sent to me once by a studio, and I chose to politely respond in gentler, more poetic language. Go fuck yourself is basically like they were asking me to do something they had no right to ask me to do. So I just politely responded, hey, appreciate you giving me the heads up. And then, however, as you are aware, according to the law and blah, 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 and you have no right to ask me to do this. So, and that was the end of it. But I mean, again, sometimes it can be more serious. This is a situation, though, that as far as I can tell, and just to be specific here, AMC had no legal basis to ask Lionsgate to take that spot down. There was no copyright infringement as far as I could tell, and anything that remotely looked like copyright infringement clearly fell under parody. This was clearly fell under parody. So my guess is if Lionsgate wanted to fight this and say to AMC, no, there's really nothing AMC could have done about it. Which would raise the question, well, then why did Lionsgate pull the spot down? Again, it's probably because, look, this is an exhibition. This is a major exhibition partner. They are the biggest movie theater chain in the world. Is it really worth having a fight with them over this fun little spot we made? Probably not worth the fight. And I'm only guessing that's what their thought process was, and sort of relinquished that. But the very fact that they escalated it over something that is actually good for them, AMC, that they actually escalated it to a cease and desist is kind of nonsense. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Vessi. Now, like me, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of Vessi, the shoe that claims to be incredibly comfortable and waterproof on top of that. Well, these claims are really interesting to me because as a Canadian who walked around in a lot of snow, and as somebody who likes to go camping and hiking with his wife on the weekends, there's nothing more uncomfortable and horrible than walking around in wet feet. So after receiving my first pair of Vessis and noticing how incredibly good looking the shoes are and how mind-boggling comfortable and flexible they are, the first thing I did was I took them into the backyard to put it to the supreme waterproof test and dipped my feet in my pool. Guys, my feet were bone dry, and like 20 seconds after having them in the pool and I touched them, the shoes themselves were also bone dry. Guys, seriously, these shoes are stupidly comfortable, they look great, and they absolutely lived up to the claim of being waterproof and keeping my feet dry. I absolutely love my Vessi shoes. So guys, if you want shoes that are good looking, are ridiculously comfortable, and on top of all that waterproof, you need to head to vessi.com/Campea and get yourselves a pair today. Go to vessi.com/Campea and get shoes for your best summer yet. Anyway, Chris, we've been following this. I mean, I think we both loved the spot. We thought the spot was really fun, even though you're not a Saw or a horror person.
Saw with all my life.
At all. But didn't you find little Jigsaw adorable?
I mean,
Didn't
honestly,
it make you want to have a Jigsaw of your own in the dark corner of your living room, always looking at you across the room?
Why?
No? Okay, I take that
Why
back.
would you put that in my brain of it living with me? No. But I did like this spot. I think it was really cute and clever. And like we talked about yesterday, too, it just seems so excessive. One, because parody is covered by First Amendment rights. And two, this makes you tie in seeing Saw at an AMC. Even though it's not explicitly saying, hey, this is AMC Theaters, it's parody, so you go, oh yeah, it'd be really fun for me to go to MacGuffin's, go see Saw X, and go have this fun time at AMC Theaters. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. This just seems very silly and excessive.
You know what I could have understood more? To your point, because you raised a great point, I could have understood more maybe if Regal got in touch with Lionsgate and said, hey, we're showing your movie in our theaters. Like, you're basically telling everybody the place to see your movie is in AMC Theaters. So I could maybe see Regal or Cinemark or Landmark getting a little bit upset by it. I can't understand why AMC would get upset about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's because they spent $28 million on that ad. They don't want anyone copying it. Or
wait a minute, did they spend 28?
Yeah.
No.
Remember when? Yeah, the whole Nicole Kidman ad.
No.
Let me look.
They did not spend $27 million on that commercial.
But go on.
They did not spend $28 million on a commercial. There's no way in hell they spent $28 million.
$25 million on the ad campaign.
Okay, on the campaign.
Yeah, that campaign.
Not on the spot.
No, but it's a part of
so
the
like buying TV.
Right.
Okay, that I get. That I completely understand.
See, I was close.
Yeah, it's just like they did not spend $28 million on making that commercial. This is strange situation. Anyway, we'll keep our eyes. By the way, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday who said this. You know, in that AMC spot, one of the big movies highlighted as Nicole Kidman's watching the screen is La La Land.
Yeah.
Is that not a Lionsgate? I think Lionsgate owns that, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. And so a friend of mine said, Lionsgate just said, okay, that's cool. We insist that you take the La La Land footage out of your out of that spot.
It is Lionsgate.
That? It was Lionsgate. Yeah, so that Lionsgate should totally go to AMC. So you know what? Send them a cease and desist letter. Take our La La Land spot out of your...
They need to change all those movies, to be quite frank.
Getting a little old,
They need
right?
to get rid
old.
of the ad, period.
Yeah, I mean,
Now.
it makes me so mad when I see it in those old films. She's still watching.
We're just
old
getting
films.
hasty
Still
here.
watching Creed 1.
I just want it to be Nicole Kidman watching Nicole Kidman now.
Oh, that'd be great. Her own movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
It's just
right,
her watching
guys.
Practical Magic.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.